What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Friday, people. Hope you're all well. Better late than never. I know I was a few minutes late. Apologies, people. People saying Ivan Toney's betting on what time Curtis shows up. Listen, I mean, yeah, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. But listen, big up to everyone tuning in. Hope you're well. It's one of them, innit? Like I said the other day, man. I said after the last game of the season that I was actually glad that the season had finished, as the last few weeks had been a little bit flat, and you know, knowing that the league title had disappeared. But now it's not here. You come to the weekend, you're like, right, I could do with an Arsenal game here. But hey, it is what it is. Champions League background. If we are going to take anything out of this season, at least we're back in the big time Champions League settings. Big nights, but I need to make sure that we're doing something. I'm not trying to see Bayern 5-1s and all that. I'm not trying to be an also ran. I want us to, you know, be competing and challenging on all fronts next season. So yeah, man. But listen, big up to everyone locked in. Champions League background. Big up, big C, late to the ting as usual. But I love you. I appreciate it, people. I appreciate it. The stream with Troops was a banger, by the way. Big up to everyone who tuned in. Troop's going to be on here next week, hopefully, as well. He said he'll come on. Jansen said, happy Friday, watching the season review on Troop's channel. Yeah, man, it was a good show. Big up everyone who locked into that. And Oz says, big up Curtis in the community. It's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. Yo, it's the weekend, people. FA Cup final weekend. Who are we supporting? Do we want Man United to lose so that you can text your Man United mates? Or do we want Man United to win so Man City don't win the treble and maybe something goes wrong in the Champions League final? I don't know where we're at, people, with that one. Do you know what? I've kind of accepted that Man City are going to win the treble. I can't lie. I've just accepted it. So I'd rather they just slapped up Man United and at least we can banter the Man United fans. That's kind of where I'm at. I only know about 2.5 Man City fans anyway, so it doesn't bother me if they win the FA Cup, to be honest. Shaquille, Big C, Anthony Taylor almost got mauled by the fans. As much as I hate the English ref, I hate to see those kinds of behaviour. Let's get two things clear with the situation. English referees are shambolic. They're some of the worst in the world. I'm convinced we have some of the worst referees in the world of football. I don't know how we got the richest league, but our referees are a shambles. But, you know, that kind of behaviour is crazy, man. You know, it's not going to change the result. They're throwing bottles at him, throwing water at him, throwing chairs at him. But some of these fans around the world, you know how they're going to operate. You know, if you act like that, that's how they're going to act. You know, he should have quietly got out of a cab. He should have had his hood up, face mask on, cover yourself up, bro. These fans ain't going to accept that. Ain't like the Premier League. These men will beat you up at the airport. I don't respect it, but you know what happens in certain parts of the world when you behave like that. So, yeah, Mourinho, man. Mourinho was waiting for the man in the car park. It was mad. Leao signs a new contract at Milan. Fuming with that. Big up EO, said happy Friday. Arteta out. Oh, man. EO, don't try and do that to me, bro. I'm trying to behave here. Big up Cooper as well. Big up Curtis in the best community on YouTube. Big up yourself. Wasim said, stems from Mourinho waiting for him in the car park. Disgraceful behaviour, egging the fans on. You know Mourinho, he's shameless, bro. He's real shameless. His daughter was in tears at South London's finest, man. Boy. Anthony Taylor, they might have to keep him out of Europe for a little bit. He can get away with it in the Prem. Them man there will wait for him at the airport. But hey, it is what it is. Anyway, let's move on. Retzel said I'm in Notts City Centre on the Lash. Big up. Enjoy, man. Good night out in Notts. But yeah, let's get into the show. Let's talk the talk, people. Let's talk the talk. Big up Dre in the chat as well. Hope you're well, brother. Let's talk the talk and talk about what's going off today. A few rumours. There was a rumour earlier on, and we'll shut this one down from early, that Bayern Munich were trying to hijack Bayer Leverkusen to get Granit Xhaka. That has been denied very quickly. I mean, I'm not being funny. No disrespect. Granit has improved massively. But Bayern Munich, Goretzka and Kimmich, are they really trying to hijack Granit Xhaka at the age of 30? I don't think so. It's been quickly denied by people within Bayern Munich that they are not interested in Bayern Munich. I know he's had a good season, but let's not go too far. Bayern Munich ain't trying to hijack nothing. According to John Cross in the Mirror, Granit Xhaka said his goodbyes to Arsenal staff after Arsenal's final game of the season against Wolves at the Emirates on Sunday. Granit Xhaka is set to join Bayer Leverkusen after the Bundesliga club offered him a lengthy contract. Now, they've obviously offered him a 4-year deal till 2027, which at the age of 30 is unbelievable. Arsenal apparently were going to extend his contract by another year till 2025. It's a no-brainer for him. I think this move works for everybody. The thing that's interesting about this is it sounds as if Xhaka is walking away from Arsenal rather than Arsenal walking away from him. Somebody, hey, big up, who just put that in the comments? I've just seen that. It's just popped up. I mean, if ever the shamelessness of Arsenal knew no boundaries. They've just put out a video 3 minutes ago. It's called The Breakdown Live with Adrian Clark, who's just got one of them faces that just wind you up. But anyway, it's called Zinchenko on how to play as an inverted fullback. I think I should go full screen and take a sip for that one. If you've been in the community for a long time, you know occasionally we have to do that. Just give me a second. I just hope they cut out the bit where Trent Alexander-Arnold's nutmegging him and then he cries like a baby on the bench after we draw the game 2-2. Inverted title challenge, inverted stream, inverted manager, inverted left back, inverted Europa League challenge, inverted transfers, inverted Declan Rice. I mean, please, just calm down. This season's finished. We've calmed down a little bit now. Just get on with your transfers. They've brought out a YouTube video on how to play as an inverted fullback. I think they need to... they say read the room. Read the room. Understand what you should do and at the right time. We ain't trying to see Zinchenko and a breakdown of inverted left backs. Zimverted tactics, people saying. But anyway, the club... You know how the club move. You know how the club move, people. But yeah, a masterclass on inverted fullbacks. Let's go back to Granit Xhaka anyway. Enjoy that. Go and watch that, people. I'm sure it'll be interesting. 9 minutes and 27 seconds. Anyway, Granit Xhaka said his goodbyes to the staff after Arsenal's final game of the season against Wolves at the Emirates on Sunday. Xhaka is set to join Bayer Leverkusen after the Bundesliga club offered him a lengthy contract. Now, I've read the full story. The story goes, and I think we knew this was going to happen anyway. He's had a conversation with Arteta. Arteta said, look, we're going to spend big money on midfielders. There could be a situation that you're a squad player this year. Granit's not interested in that. 4-year deal, Bayer Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso's the manager. Xabi Alonso is good friends with Mikel Arteta from way back, and it looks as if a deal's going to be done there. What I find interesting is why Xhaka didn't announce it before the game so that the fans would have given him a proper send-off. As I said, where I'm at with Granit Xhaka, I wish him all the best. I hold no ill feeling towards him. I just think if you've been at the club for 7 seasons... You've had one really good season. Last season he was okay, faded at the end. Apart from that, I've seen not enough. So I wish him all the best. I thank him for his commitment. But ultimately, I would say that Xhaka has been an unsuccessful signing at the football club. We've had one of our worst periods of football since he's been at the club. Now, I can't blame him completely for that. That definitely can't be the case. But he's been the mainstay in midfield while we've been getting ripped apart most seasons. So it's a shame because we've probably just seen the best of Granit Xhaka last season and now we're going to get rid of him. But I think it's time to upgrade, as I said. Bigger and better things, Champions League. You can't go to Madrid and Barca and places like that and get caught. You've got to have better. So, improved, yep. Goes with a pat on the back, definitely. Maybe he should have played in this attacking role 4 seasons ago, but I think it's time to move on. Listen, I'm going to be honest. If Granit Xhaka would have been willing to stay and be a squad player, I wouldn't have had a problem with him sitting on the bench being third or fourth choice. But I need to see 2 new centre mids and Partey ahead of him. Then we could have talked. But thanks. Enjoy yourself. It's a great move for him. I think we all come out of the situation smelling of roses. Samuel said, if you were a manager coach in the league, what would your touchline dress code be? Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd try and do the swagger thing. I think I wouldn't go in the shirt and tie and the suit. That's too much. But I wouldn't go for the tracksuit either. I'd try and drop some swag, you know. You see me in a little Gucci t-shirt or something. You know, go with some swag. Although Skepta says I threw it all in the bin because that's not me. So, but no, I think I'd try and drop a swag one. You know what I'm saying? Swag boys, man. You don't see that too often. I know Arteta likes the Armani trainers and stuff. Well, or swag. Little Aubameyang tip, you know. Maybe I'll go with a Gucci headband. You know what I mean? But yeah, big up Samuel. Samuel again said, Lee Gunner destroyed Zinni on the troop stream. Yeah, he wasn't a big fan. That's for sure, man. Big C, what jersey did you prefer when you played? I like the short sleeve ones. Never liked the long sleeve ones, I got to be honest. Short sleeve jerseys were my favourite ones. I never took them in either. Always had them out. Cormac said, Curtis Howe's tricks. Tierney being allowed to leave is madness. I don't rate Zinchenko at all in defence. Is a new left-back signing needed. We're going to go into more detail with that. I mean, like I said, the fact they've just released a 9-minute video on their website, on their YouTube channel, talking about how to play inverted left-back, I think that tells you everything. Zinchenko is very much here to stay, that is for sure. Big up Cormac. Big up Beresford Productions. Big up Big C. Shout out my dad. Yesterday was his birthday. Enjoyed some kebab. Hope you enjoy your day. Big up Beresford Productions, Dad. Celebrating his birthday. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. And Alexander said, big up Big C. Realistically, we need at least 250 million this summer. Huge job ahead for Edu. Not sure if he's capable of handling it. I suppose the thing is, Alex, is he's got to sell that many players and then buy players as well. You know, it's gonna be a long summer for him. And is he capable of doing it? Oh, he was asking about the shirt number. Number 9 was my number. Number 9, people. I can't lie. I was R9. R9 was my guy. So yeah, number 9 was my number. So yeah, apologies. I thought you meant what shirt and that. You know, I had the socks pulled up over the knees, Thierry on resettings. Do you know what I mean? Short sleeve. That was the look. But yeah, number 9, bro. So it looks like Xhaka's going. Expect announcement in the next few days. Maybe he wasn't sure of his decision at the time. That's why maybe they didn't announce it. Before the game last week. So, but apparently said bye to all the staff and all the players. And Bayern Munich have denied that they're trying to hijack a deal for Granit Xhaka. I think deep down, we all knew that Bayern Munich would not be trying to sign Granit Xhaka. I know he's improved, but there's levels. Part-time party. Big C, my first ever game is the preseason game against Man U. Anyway, the community can get together for a meet-up. Definitely would like to meet up with a lot of the community if you're over there for those games. And definitely would like to do one in London over the summer. Anyway, let's move on, people. More stories to talk about. It's going to be transfers galore today. Tsunami said, Curtis, how many signings do you think we need? I think we need at least 5. I think we need at least 5. I think we need... It's got to be either... I mean, listen, ideal world, I would sign a goalkeeper, but we're not signing a goalkeeper, so I'm being realistic. We need a centre-back or a right-back. If you sign a right-back, then Ben White can become another one of his centre-back options. If you're going to keep White at right-back, then you need a right-sided centre-back. I would probably say we need both. If Tierney goes, you need a left-back. So there's 3 just in defence. I think you need at least 2 centre mids. Ideally, I would want a striker and a right winger. So I would probably say 7, to be honest. In reality, I think we get about 5. Curtis, you haven't blamed the Kroenkes yet today. Don't worry, there's plenty of time. I saw the NBA playoffs last night. Nuggets go 1-0 up. They win that NBA playoffs, I'm going to be even more angry. All Kroenke's teams winning trophies. We're out here saying bigger fish to fry, you know what I mean? I'm not having it. We'll talk about the Kroenkes at some stage. Big C, how did you do in the FPL? I managed to win your mini league. Can I get the new Arsenal home shirt shipped to Amsterdam? Greetings. Do you know what? I haven't even logged into that for so long. I just gave up on it. My team, I was in a relegation battle. I need to log into that. But if you won, man, big up yourself. I will have a look. I might do a little giveaway for that. And Bleck said, Big C, in all seriousness, how much do you think KSE spend? I'll be honest, I think we break 200 million this summer. I do. I think we'll break 200 million, but I think we need to be in the mid to high 200 millions. I think we need to be getting 250, 260. I think the midfield alone needs 130, 140 at least. Let alone get him 2 defenders, maybe a striker and a right winger. So I think you need to be spending $250 million, but we'll see. And they've got no excuse, because if Edu does his job properly, we can easily make 100 million from player sales. But it's if they do their job properly, you know. Maybe they are pumping up the Rams and Nuggets to provide cash flow to Arsenal. Believe that? No, I definitely don't believe that, bro. I wish so. S. Ronnie said we need another goalie, a penalty stopper. Listen, I would love us to sign a keeper, but I don't think it's going to happen realistically. And yeah, you're right. Ramsdale hasn't saved 1 penalty yet. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on and let's talk about man like Kieran Tierney. Stronger than a Tesco bag. Well, it looks like that bag is on its way out of Arsenal. Not good news. Well, some of you may think it is, but I think most of you will say no. Big story in the Times this morning. Aston Villa plan to rival Newcastle United for the signing of Kieran Tierney this summer, with the left-back expected to leave Arsenal. Tierney is set to depart Arsenal during the transfer window after holding talks with the manager Mikel Arteta. Newcastle remains the expected destination for Tierney, but Villa have shown a strong interest, and manager Unai Emery is a big admirer. Of course, Emery signed Kieran Tierney from Celtic to bring him to Arsenal. Now, just to give you a bit of a breakdown of this full story, if you haven't read all of it, it's believed Kieran Tierney had a meeting after the game against Wolves with Mikel Arteta, where the conversation was about guarantees around game time, and it's believed he couldn't be guaranteed a start next season. Therefore, he's on his way out of Arsenal, which I think is a massive, massive shame. And I'm going to be totally honest, and I know sometimes people think I'm harsh on the manager and this, that, the other. One of Arteta's biggest problems, in my opinion, is he concentrates solely on the starting 11. He doesn't have a great habit of making you feel a part of the team when you're on the bench. We've seen it with Tierney. We've seen it with Emile Smith-Rowe. The way that when you're on the bench, you're kind of just put to the side and not interested. I don't blame Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney's too good to be a second choice left back. He could start for a lot of teams in the Premier League. Big teams as well. According to the report, he wants to go to Newcastle ahead of Aston Villa. Newcastle is, close to Glasgow, just over the border from England to Scotland, so it'd be close to home for him. They're in the Champions League, and, they've got big, big money. I think he would probably go to Newcastle ahead of Villa, despite the fact Unai Emery was the former manager. I think we've totally messed this situation up. I think if you'd have played him, kept him interested, kept him feeling like there's still an opportunity for me to get in the team, and you say, listen, Champions League next year, I want you to go toe-to-toe with Zinchenko. It's a battle. You can still get game time. I think you could have kept him, but telling him you're not going to be the first choice, putting out interviews, documentaries about how to play inverted left-back, it was only going to go one way. So, yeah, it looks as if Kieran Tierney is on his way to Newcastle, but Villa are interested. Dre makes a great point here. If we are going to lose him, which I think we are, let's create a bidding war. Let's create an auction, right? If Villa want him, if Newcastle want him, yesterday's price is not today's price. Villa, Europa League football. Newcastle, Champions League football. Incredible amounts of money to spend. I'm telling you now, if Kieran Tierney played for different clubs, you'd be talking about 50 million, 40, 50 million for him. He's a top quality left back. Let's be honest, he could start at Man City. They don't have a left back. He could start for Manchester City. He could definitely compete with Luke Shaw at United. He could compete with Chilwell. He could play for the majority of teams in the Premier League at left back. The price needs to go up. Yeah, yesterday's price is not today's price. I don't want to see no stupid little 25, 30 million deal. 40 million. Realistically, you need to be dropping 40 million on us. If two reasonably big Premier League teams are trying to get him. He's a quality left back. Listen, I get it. He probably wasn't willing to stay here and be second choice. But me personally, I think this is a mistake from Arsenal letting him go. I think we should have... Nathan Ake, but I'm saying in terms of natural left back. But yeah, Ake's had a fantastic season, I can't lie. But he would definitely... they were linked with him 2 or 3 months ago before Ake's form. That they said they wanted a natural left back there as well. But listen... I'm not happy that he's going. I've got to be honest. 25 years of age. I still think he's a quality left back. What my feeling is, Eros said 100 million Scottish tax. What my feeling is with this, I think that Kivior has been signed to be the backup left back. It's no coincidence that Kivior was playing left back towards the end of the season when Zinchenko got injured. Everyone was like, right, Zinchenko's injured. Tierney comes in, plays a few games. This is his opportunity to make sure, you make him feel a little bit involved and happy towards the end of the season. I think they're going to try and play Kivior inverted left back. It's no coincidence. Last summer, we made offers to try and sign Lisandro Martinez when we didn't really need a left-sided centre-back. We had Gabriel. I think they were going to potentially play Lisandro as an inverted left-back. I think Kivior has been brought in to play left-back, to tuck in into that sort of centre-back position if Zinchenko isn't playing. So that's what I think's going to happen. I think Kieran Tierney will be sold. I think that's probably part of the reason they signed Kivior. They feel that he can play inverted left back and also play left-sided centre-back. So that's why I think Kieran Tierney is on his way out. We've seen in games where Tierney's come on, they haven't even let him play as a regular left back. They're trying to make him invert and he doesn't look comfortable. Pratim said, how does Curtis say exactly what's on my mind? Hey, community settings, people, togetherness. Inverted Kiwi. Yeah, I think the Kiwi will be inverted. Let's remember, Zinni cannot defend. Listen, I always say fullback is a position you cannot mess around in the Premier League. There are wingers in the Prem and in the Champions League that will expose you. They'll expose you badly as well. We could have a situation where we don't really have an orthodox fullback at the club. Ben White isn't, Zinchenko isn't, and Kivior isn't. Okay, Tomiyasu is, but he's not available at the start of the season. So, but hey, let's see what you've got to say. Sports Genius, Big C, ticket prices for the Arsenal United game in New York are a disgrace. More than an NFL game, Kroenke better spend this summer. They know people are prepared to pay the price. Obviously, a lot of fans in America don't get to see Arsenal play live often, so they're going to bump the price. The price for the MLS All-Stars game against Arsenal is even crazier. $300 to be sitting on the top row. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with it. SG said, Edu's in red light district. Oh, come on. Hey, SG, relax. But we know Edu, he's a different guy. Edu in his barbecue grilled. Oh, man, listen. Edu better make sure he does his work. But SG, big up yourself. Joshua, sorry, Curtis Kieran Tierney is overrated and injury prone. Ooh, Joshua, straight from the hip. He's not having it. Injury prone, I would say, yeah. Overrated. I don't think anybody thinks he's a world beater. He's not as good as Robertson at Liverpool. But I think he's a very, very solid left back. And I think one thing we need to look at and really think about is, in reality, Newcastle, we could be battling for top 4 with Newcastle next season. And do you really want to give them a left back that can improve them? Now, I actually said this the other day, and I want to ask you this question. Now Joshua's thrown this out there. This is a comment that I made the other day. And Don's saying it here, do us fans overhype Tierney because we've had players like Andre Santo. I think that Kieran Tierney is a brilliant player. But I would say that Nacho Monreal might have had a better Arsenal career than Kieran Tierney. I'm not saying Monreal was a better player than Tierney. I think Tierney's better. But I think Monreal had a very solid, consistent end to his Arsenal career. Won the FA Cup, played every week. They called him Mr. Consistent. Tierney has been very injury prone. Now, Jashar set me off it because it might sound hypocritical. You're a hypocrite, as they called me. I think Tierney's a very good player. I think he can go on to have a great career. But ultimately, first season, 15 games. 15 games in his first season out of 38. He missed 23 league games. Second season, 27 games. He missed 11. Third season, 22 games. He missed 16 games. This season, obviously, he's been on the bench most of the time, so I'm not going to judge him off that. But the 3 seasons where he was first choice, he missed 23, plus 11, 34, plus 16. He missed 50 league games in 3 seasons. Now, that is not good enough. That is not good enough. No matter how good you are, that is way too many. So, the overrated, I do think he is a solid fullback. I do. And when you look at the left backs we've had, Kieran Gibbs, Gael Clichy, Andre Santos, Nacho Monreal, we haven't had a top quality left back. I actually think Tierney, ability-wise, is better than all of them. I just think the problem with him was the injuries and the fact that now Arteta wants to play a totally different style of play. But 50 league games in 3 years is ridiculous. He's missed more than a season of football in 3 years, 38 league games. So that's the problem. That's the problem. So yeah, Jashar, you sent me down a whole different direction there. I was praising him, and by the end of it, I was criticising him. But nah, listen, his lack of availability is his biggest problem, for sure. 50 games in 3 is too much. Bleck said, we gave Fabregas to Barca. Why would we be surprised about Tierney? You're right. You know, we sold Sanchez to United. So it's not like we're bothered about strengthening a rival. Curtis, time for a poll. Arteta or Emery? Wow. Arteta or Emery? Listen, I always said with Unai Emery, I believe he's a very, very good manager. I think the communication and all that stuff was a big part of the problem. I felt that season he came in, he did really well. He just needed to get over the finish line. So it was a shame for him. Young Gunner said, if Tierney leaves, we need to go all out for Cancelo. For midfield, it needs to be Caicedo and Barella. Would you take Gravenberch from Bayern? I like Gravenberch. He is very highly rated. But it just seems like it hasn't worked for him at Bayern Munich, which is a shame. But I like him. I think he's a quality player, especially if you could get him for a decent price. Which there are a lot of rumours that they'd sell him for maybe around 30 or 40 million. So we'll have to see with that one. That's an interesting one as well. That is an interesting one. But anyway, Juice Saw said, big up Big C, we shouldn't sell Tierney to Newcastle. They're competing directly with us. It could come back to bite us badly if we do. One thing I don't like with Arsenal, I say this all the time, and listen, I know we've just said there is Tierney. Have we overrated him? Has he missed too many games? You need to be trying to get to a situation and a point where you've got 2 quality players in each position. Get as close as you can to that. Now, we're not Man City. We don't have Man City money. We're not going to have that in every single position. But the first time we have a little bit of success, then we're selling a player that there's no way we should be selling. We should be sitting there going, right, left back secure. We don't need anyone. Zinchenko, Tierney, lock that off. You're not happy you didn't get enough game time? Cool. Do you want a pay rise? More game time, we're keeping you. You're not going. Let's try and get that in the other positions. Don't weaken yourself. You know, how much is it going to cost to replace Kieran Tierney? Are you going to stick with Kivior? Are you going to bring Nuno Tavares back? I think it's a bit of a senseless move, letting him go. Even if he wants to go, I would potentially say, you're not going. You're not going. I need you next season. You're going to play more game time. Big clubs, there's times where players want to go. Bernardo Silva was linked with Barca last summer, apparently wanted to go. Guess what? You're not going. Get your head down and deal with it. And now, look, he's had a great season. We should be keeping him. I think it sends out the wrong message letting him go. And let's be honest, we're not going to get the money that we deserve for him either. We'll probably sell him for 30 million. So Jew said that. Assassin said, Curtis, I'm saying it now. Don't care what people think. If Arteta doesn't challenge for the league and bottles Champions League, I want him gone. 4 seasons, not good enough. Sick of the progress nonsense. Listen, this is the season for me. I think you know my opinions of Arteta. And you know that I think we threw away the league this year. I think we should have won the Premier League this year. It's that simple. There has to be major progress. I want to see us win a trophy. I'm sick of seeing us compete. I'm sick of seeing us celebrate progression without actually lifting trophies. Abdul Ghaffar said, I'm not paying that ticket to watch Fabio. Already spending $700 on Arsenal gear. I'm driving 4 hours to New York to see you, Curtis, Turkish, Dampox, Troops, and Saeed. Please share how to see you. Yeah, listen, obviously, at the moment, I don't know what's going off. When we went to Orlando, there was some events on over there. There was meetups and stuff like that before games and during the week. So as I get that information during the tour, obviously, I'll share it with the community for anyone who's over there and try and meet up with a lot of you guys over there. 100%. Fit said it's absolute madness getting rid of Tierney. I agree with you, bro. I totally agree. I think it's the wrong thing to do. You don't weaken yourself once you've progressed. But I think they've treated him so bad that he just wants out. And Cormac said, would you be happy with Zinchenko first choice? I mean, he is going to be first choice. So whether I like it or not, that's going to be the reality. We need to bring in a sufficient backup and not Kivior. If you're going into the Champions League with Zinchenko and Kivior, that worries me. If that's your left-back options, that worries me. So we'll see. We will see. Maybe they will sign a left-back, but what I'm saying is, I mean, look, someone's coming for me here in the comments. Ikram said, Big C, what you're saying is dumb. Arteta clearly played Kivior as a conservative fullback and Partey is inverted. That's why Arsenal put up videos for a fan like you who don't understand football. Hey, I've played the game. No, really. Hey, Ikram, listen, fella, go and enjoy your afternoon. 3 minutes on the naughty step. Consider your actions. Consider your actions. So explain to me why we were looking to buy Lisandro Martinez for 50 million if there was no possibility of us playing centre-backs at full-back. Nathan Ake's played there, and he's a centre-back, and that's for Pep. And we know that Arteta models his game off Pep, so why would they not do it? Oh, Ikram. Oh, they're saying that's a goal. It's a goal. I don't know. I didn't even see the picture. Troop stream with you and Lee was legendary. Big up, bro. Time out for Ikram. Ikram, 3 minutes. Go on the naughty step. Consider your actions, Ikram. That's a shambolic comment. But listen, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. If Kivior's at left back, get yourself back here and I want an apology in 4K as well. We ain't hiding. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. João Cancelo. A lot of people in the comments saying, get João Cancelo to replace Zinchenko. João Cancelo said, no. No. You can't sign me, and you know now. The middle. Yeah, you left me, baby. Right, let me stop singing before the copyright comes for me. João Cancelo doesn't want to play in England anymore. Neither at City nor Arsenal. The man don't want no fish and chips. The man don't want no cup of tea. The man don't want no McDonald's. He don't want to be in England. Manchester, London, wherever you take him in England. He don't want it. Man said, me don't want it. Nowhere in England is this guy interested in being. So we ain't getting him. Simple as that. It looks as if Bayern Munich will not take up their option to buy him. But Barcelona are trying to get him, although apparently they can't afford to buy him on a permanent. They want to get him in on loan with an option to buy. So João Cancelo, no. As South London's finest is quoted there. So let's take that one off our radar, people. I think a lot of us would have liked to have got João Cancelo in, that is for sure. Kieran Tierney is 4th choice behind Zinni, Kiwi, and who's TT, man? What am I? But 50 million. Who am I? Who's TT here? Has my mind gone blank here? Tommy Asu, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of left backs. I'm with you. It's been a long week, Joshua. Jay, something. I just get the impression you're not the biggest fan of Kieran Tierney. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I want 50 million. I didn't say 50 million pounds. I just said 50 million. You know, Jamaican dollars. You know, anything. Just 50 million. Even Monopoly money, we'll take it. Inverted Curtis, don't know. You don't know football. That's why they're putting out the documentary for you. Hey, your 3 minutes is nearly up, Ikram. I need an explanation. He's fed up with the inverted world. Yeah, exactly, man. Anyway, let's move on. João Cancelo said, no, not interested. Don't want to be in England. Maybe you don't like the weather. You know, maybe he's had enough of the rain, constant rain. Black said, hypocrites, you don't know inverted football. Hey, when it comes to inverted football, people, they're calling me out. They're saying I don't understand the inverted game. I told you, maybe I'm getting older. I don't understand it, according to Ikram. That's why they put out a documentary, so I can understand inverted football. So Ikram, I'm waiting for your response. Tierney is a consummate professional. Just block the transfer. That's what I'm on. Block it. Did I block? People saying he got blocked. Oh, I thought it was a timeout. You can any mod if you want to unblock him, you can unblock him and time him out if he got blocked. Or do we just leave him out? It could be an inverted timeout, which actually means you're blocked and you don't come back. So anyway, let's move on. People don't understand inverted watch-alongs. Do you know what I mean? That means if I'm live at 3, I'll be live about 3:05. Inverted timing, people. You can't get with the program. Anyway, it would not be a stream without me talking about this man. Declan Blood Clot Rice and Peas. Declan Jollof Rice. Will he ever sign for us? I don't know. I'm not sure. Declan Rice's agent / father has been in extensive talks with Arsenal, who are now very strong favourites to sign the Hammer skipper, whose preference is to remain in the capital. Rice doesn't see the Bundesliga as a league in which his game will develop, and is keen to remain in the Premier League. Daily Declan. Daily Rice, people. Daily Rice. Daily Rice and Peas. Daily Basmati. Daily Pilar Rice. Will we ever sign him? Fabrizio is going on a limb at the moment, saying that we're going to make an offer as soon as the Conference League final finishes. I believe that is next week. So he better hope that happens, or people are going to come for Fabrizio as well, because people ain't got the patience with all this no more. But yeah, Fabrizio is saying we're going to make an offer sometime in the next week, as soon as this Conference League final is finished. So yeah, we'll have to see with that one. I think it's just a waiting game. I mean, they're saying his dad has been talking to Arsenal for months about signing for the club, and his dad is convinced this is the right project. Young team, knows the players, can remain in London, Champions League football. I think Chelsea would have been in for him. But it looks as if he's not interested. He wants to go to a Champions League club. Also, his best mate, Mason Mount, is leaving Chelsea. Looks as if he could go to United. Man United are lurking in the background, which is always a danger, because we know that Man United are one of them teams that if they feel that you're worth it, they'll slap the money on the table. They ain't messing around. So United are still lurking in the background. To be honest, I just get a bit bored of talking about Declan Rice now. If you're signing him, just sign him. Just sign him. Just get it done. I think we'll know more after that Conference League next week anyway, and see what happens there. Chris Clark said Caicedo is the only player I want. Rice is way overrated. They are trying to get a bidding war for Rice and Mount. They aren't even worth 50 million. I saw an interesting article. It's from Tim Sherwood, who I think talks utter nonsense. He's a boiled Arsenal fan, but because he played and managed Tottenham, he's turned into a massive Arsenal hater. And he made the point that is Caicedo worth 80, 90 million? And I think the point he tried to use was that everybody wanted Yves Bissouma, and he in the end only went for 25 million. And people saying, you know, Bissouma was not worth 60, 70 million. do you look at Caicedo and think he's worth it? Does he look a level above Basuma in your eyes? He was basically saying Arsenal should be careful about signing Caicedo for big money, in that, you know, Basuma looked that good at Brighton as well, and that he hasn't looked as good since going to a bigger club. Where he was trying to say that Declan Rice, because he's played for England in the World Cup and stuff, he's dealt with more pressure, and that he's a leader as well. So, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I agree with that at all. I think Caicedo is fantastic. And listen, Basuma went to the wrong club. He went to a struggling Tottenham team. It was never going to be easy for him to thrive in that team under Antonio Conte, where his head was rolling off every minute. Anyway, Bleck, big up yourself, bro. Big shout out to that. Bleck has gifted 5 Curtis Shaw TV memberships. So shout out to you, bro. Sometimes I miss these comments because for some reason they don't show up on StreamYard. I have to see them through the YouTube app. So PR Oliver, Amsterdam, Thailand, George Garber, Gonna Go North, and Jackem 153. You've all been gifted a membership by Black Gemini. Big up yourself, bro. Really appreciate that. Inverted community, people. We're an inverted community. Inverted memberships. But big up yourself, bro. Really appreciate that. And welcome the new members. Oh, was it 10? Ross. I didn't even see that. I thought it was 5. But yeah, big up yourself, Black. Really appreciate you supporting the community like that. People saying Basuma hardly played at Tottenham. Yeah, he was never given a fair chance there, was he? Let's be honest. And a lot of us would have taken him. How do you give memberships? Do you know what? I know this sounds really bad. I actually don't know how you do it. Oh, no, I think when you go on the $sign as if you were going to give a super chat, I think it allows you to gift memberships. I think that's how you do it. I should know, really, as it's something I should be promoting on the channel. But, you know, I think that's how you do it. But shout out Black. Shout out to Black. Big up yourself, bro. Appreciate that. I'm not interested in Caicedo. He's just another Wanyama. But Suma, I want a membership. People asking for memberships. Big up Black. Big up Black. Curtis, why are West Ham fans so angry with Rice coming to Arsenal? I don't know. I don't know why they're angry. I think he's their golden boy, innit? He's their golden boy. And with him going to another London club, maybe that's difficult for them to deal with. Maybe they would have rather he left London. Which I don't know. I don't know why they would be so annoyed. Amsterdam, Thailand said, thank you, Black. Big up yourself, bro. Lazar said, bro, we know Mikel Arteta wants a certain style of player that covers various roles. Maybe he's telling KSE he can get results without having to spend the big dollar. Yeah, and he might be looking at it going, right, Kieran Tierney, I'm trying to look at it from a purely Arsenal and Arteta point of view. He might be looking at Tierney and going, right, I don't want my fullback to play the way Tierney plays. So rather than keeping him on the books, £100,000 a week, very good player that deserves first-team football, he might be saying, I can do it this way. Maybe I can play Kivior at left-back. Maybe I can put Tomiyasu there. Or maybe they buy a cheaper option that is more the similar style of play to Zinchenko. And then they allow Tierney to go 30, 40 million and move him on. So you could be spot on there, Lazar. You could be absolutely spot on there. And Boss J said Arteta is a company man. And listen, let's be honest. And, you know, this could have cost me points in my football career. I'm a very, how can I put it? I'm a very sort of, if I believe something's right, I will stick by that. You know, I will stick by that. Sometimes in certain environments, you just got to be quiet sometimes and just get on with it, as bad as that sounds. I think one of the big things with me in football, I had a lot of arguments, you know, and I argued with managers, I argued with players when I didn't agree with things that were going off. Now, maybe if I'd have kept quiet and got on with it, maybe you get further. Now, people saying Arteta's a company man, which I think he is. But there's nothing wrong with that because he understands that he wasn't a manager. He's been given an unbelievable opportunity. When you think that Sol Campbell, England international, Premier League winner, invincible. His first football job was at Macclesfield Town in League Two and Southend in League Two. That's how low down the pyramid these men had to start. Arteta's gone in at Arsenal, first job, Arsenal, Pep tax, just because you work with Pep. Steven Gerrard, you know, I think he's for Rangers. That was a good job, actually. Lampard was at Derby. But what I'm saying is, he knows, listen, you lot have given me an unbelievable opportunity here. I'm not going to rebel against you. I'm going to put up with a bit of nonsense, you know, but he's going to get the big contract. He's now on £8 million a year and a very highly rated manager without actually achieving that much. So I understand he isn't going to rebel the way Conte does, because Conte don't care. He knows he'll get a job in another couple of months. So I get it. I get it. Your attitude let you down. Do you know what? As a football attitude, I had a great attitude. I trained well. I turned up on time. I love the game. But when I felt things were wrong, I would speak up. And I had big arguments. But sometimes that goes against you, to be honest. Big C is a rebel against the establishment. Yeah, but it doesn't always help you. I can't lie. Rully said we should focus our attention, spend on Osimhen. And right, I mean, there's a rumour today, Osimhen being linked with Newcastle. Now, I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to happen. But if that kind of deal happens, I know they've got mad dough, but that would really wind me up. Bleck said, inverted gifts, that's all. Hey, big up, Bleck. Really appreciate it, bruv. Alexander said, I have a sinking feeling we'll be linked with Rice and Caicedo for months and get neither, like this season's bottle. Don't think anything's changed. I mean, we've done it a lot, haven't we? Been linked with players and haven't got them. Cormac said, give me Sean Dyche's take on Declan Rice. I mean, listen, I've said for a long time, Declan Rice, you know, he wears that claret and blue, but there's only one team in claret and blue he should be playing for, and that's Burnley. He's overrated. They eat bricks, they eat wood, they eat concrete. He should be playing for them, centre mid, long ball up to Chris Wood and Giles Barnes. Arsenal player, I just don't think he's good enough, mate. He's a passion merchant. It's the English tax, Rush. It's the English tax. We'll leave it there, people. Cormac, £2. There we go. But big up yourself. You know, I like a Sean Dyche. I've got to get Darren Farley on here, to be fair, now the season's over. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, over 2,100 of you in the chat. Big up the community, as always. Supporting the channel. Legends, every one of you. And really appreciate your support, as always. Just like the video, people. Big up Harry Haran. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Really appreciate it, bro. Big up to you. Member stream, I think we're going to do Tuesday. End of season member stream. Inverted Sean Dyche impression. We always try. We always try. More gravel required. Try harder. Dear. We try, you know. Sing for us. I mean, you got to give me a song or something. I told you I'm a freestyler. I have no lyrics, so the songs, they just turn up at random moments. You know, eat bricks, eat wood, eat concrete. Big up the Dyche. Big up Elliot, man. Hope you're well, bro. Progress, not success. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten that. I owe you 5%. That's a legendary one. Make sure you like the stream. Although Don says, please don't sing. Now, that makes me want to sing even more just to wind up Don. He don't rate my singing voice. Look out for me, man. Britain's Got Talent 2024. Or maybe America's Got Talent. You never know. They might appreciate me more over there. Oh, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Cause of the peeps you are with me. Yo, pull it. Yo, let me relax, people. They copyright you. Start singing for too long, you know. Anyway, let's continue, people. Bleck, he's back again. He's given 5 more. We got more members, people. Bleck, you're on form today, my friend. 5 more members. Big up, Bleck. And we got a super chat here as well. Let's get this super chat. Young Gunner. Edu should have been watching a video on how to sell players properly. Big C, when you're in America, stand and flex your inverted American accent. Maybe then it'll spend the dough big summer ahead. I hope I run into the Cronkies at some point this season. Literally, man. They was at the first game. We were close to being able to speak to them, but I wasn't able to have a conversation with them. I hope so. I really hope so. But big up Bleck. Really appreciate it, bro. He's handed out 10 members. 10 gifted memberships today, so really appreciate that. And hope you enjoyed. Hey, Don, I hope you enjoyed the little singing of the morning, people. It had to happen. It had to happen. You know, I was in the zone. They were telling me to sing. I was like, when you said don't sing, that made me want to sing even more. So, Curtis, are you going to punch Enos? Listen, I'm trying to make the return flight. I'm not going to punch him, am I? You'll never see me again, people. But I'll definitely talk the talk, you know. Anyway, let's continue. We got a few more stories to go through before we get out of here, people. News coming out of Germany. Now, I don't know how true this is, but if it is, I want to be in the mix. I don't see how this is true, but if it is, one of these needs to be putting a shirt on at Arsenal. According to Bild, who are usually a decent source of information, Bayern Munich have put Sadio Mane, Serge Gnabry, and Leroy Sané on the market. Now, I don't know how that would possibly be true. They only have 4 wingers at the football club. Mane, Gnabry, Sané, and Kingsley Coman. Surely you wouldn't get rid of all of them. Now, Sadio Mane, I think they're definitely trying to get rid of him. He's had a big fallout. He hasn't played that well. They want him out. Gnabry and Sané, it seemed to be that Sané was going to go because he wants to move back to England because his girlfriend's in England. They're now saying Gnabry could go as well. So this is the first poll of the day. I'm going to put all 3 of them. Bayern are having a clear out. 3 wingers. If Arsenal could sign one of these 3, who would you actually want out of these 3? Mane. Personally, I wouldn't be going for Mane just because of the age and the wage. Gnabry or Leroy Sané. Now, I'm definitely caught up on this one because I've got to be honest. Sané was brilliant against Manchester City. He was their best player. So, but Gnabry's one of our own. So I'm very split on the 2. I don't know if Gnabry is actually better than Sané, you know, I got to be honest. But because he's one of our own, it kind of makes me want to it wouldn't be Sadio Mane, definitely not. Old now. Yeah, I don't think he's that guy anymore. People saying Sané's injury prone. Who would you go for? Dre said Sané can't finish. Sané is better. South London's finest. Gnabry's best friends with Bellerin. He better not come with his attitude for real. Get Mane back to Liverpool. Gnabry is the only correct answer. One of ours played with Arteta. That's a good point. He was teammates with Arteta. Yeah, he was a youngster when Arteta was still playing. So you'd think, I mean, I would absolutely love Arsenal to get Serge Gnabry. I think, personally, I'm going to be honest. Let me just have a look at their stats. Not that stats tell you everything, but it's just interesting to see what they've done. I mean, Gnabry, 14 league goals, 5 assists this season. That is a good season, considering he doesn't start every week. 8 goals, 7... Yeah, bring Gnabry home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Bring Gnabry back to the carpet, man. He's a goal scorer. He's one of our own. The fan base would absolutely love him as well. I think if Mane's past it, I wouldn't bring Mane. If Sané comes to Arsenal, he's coming here purely just to get back to England. I don't think he really wants to be here. He's just coming here because his missus has had enough for Germany. Bring Serge back. I'm going Serge. Give me Serge, man. He's one of our own. He never had the right opportunity. And I think the fan base would absolutely love Gnabry coming back. And he said that he would always want to come back to Arsenal if he came back to the Prem. For me, now, honestly, if this story is true, please get one of these deals done. Yeah, I'm telling you, the stats tip me over the edge. But honestly, this is the level of signing. Can you imagine if you get Gnabry, you get Caicedo or Rice, you get a centre-back, maybe a right-back. That kind of window. And we're cooking people. We're like King Emery said, can you imagine having Xhaka and Gnabry as your 2 right wingers? That's ridiculous. That's the kind of squad depth that you need. You got Trossard, Martinelli on the left. You got Gnabry and Saka on the right. You've got Odegaard, Smith Rowe in the 10. That's where we need to be at, man. Dre said, if it makes sense, you're right. You're right. If it makes sense, we won't do it. You know, if it makes sense, we absolutely won't do it. It is Arsenal after all. So, yeah, you're probably right on that one. So, let's not get our hopes up. We'll probably give Reece Nelson a new contract and sign no one. Real quality game changers, exciting players. Players that, you know, you'd be delighted to see at the club. Stefano said, I really want Jacob Ramsey. I think he's a good player. I like Ramsey. Very good player. Amsterdam, Thailand said, man, I'm a member of Curtis. Thank you, Bleck, so much. I've had a bad year. This makes me feel so much better. Hey, big up, man. See, that's what community is all about. Togetherness. We help each other. We don't always agree. I said it. Community. Togetherness. Dysfunctional, but we make it work, people. Big up. That's brilliant, man. I love that. And I hope things are getting better for you, bro. I really do. This summer window needs to be a 10 out of 10. It needs to be a genuine one, though, because sometimes Arsenal, we have bang average windows and people go on shows and go, I'll give that 9 out of 10. And you're like, 9 out of 10 where, bro? That ain't no 9 out of 10, you know? So it needs to be a genuine, like, 9 or 10 out of 10. Jashar said, Arsenal's Rice rumours started in January, smokescreen. Jashar, you know, you're becoming a little bit like the new Fitz, but like shooting straight off the hip. But I hear you. I hear you. I said the same thing. That we were all fuming that we'd got Jorginho instead of Caicedo. What's the first thing they did? Oh, don't worry, Declan Rice. Throw them stories out. It'll calm them down. So, will we get him? I don't know. You could be right. Bleck said, big up Big C in the community. Y'all are amazing. Hey, big up yourself, bro. Much appreciated the support as always. And you're improving people's time and helping their mood, man. And that's what this community is all about. E. Ross said, as soon as you read Dre's message, your voice changed quickly. No, because I saw what he was writing and I was like, you're right, Dre. You're right. I said it all last summer. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. You know? If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. Listen, we got to change that narrative. All the stuff that I've thrown at Arsenal over the last few years, they need to change the narrative. You know, Granit Xhaka has had a huge turnaround this year. If Granit Xhaka can be as important as he's been this year, then I'm sure the transfer business can change as well. Cooper said, will we sign a proper striker this summer? I'd love a big physical guy like Mitrovic. I hope so. I think we need one. Definitely think we need one. And you know what? You've led me in nicely there to the next conversation. Let me end that poll. That's a very interesting one. 62% say Serge Gnabry. 7% say Sadio Mane, and 33% say Leroy Sané. So you want Gnabry back home, people. You want Gnabry back where he belongs, on the carpet, and back at the Arsenal. But we'll have to see with that one. There's more hope than expectation, that is for sure. Huge turnaround, but 1-0. I hear you. Listen, he won the hearts of the Arsenal fans. They were singing, "We want you to stay. We want you to stay, Grant." I mean, when I heard that song, I was like, listen, man, I know he's had a good season, but I don't know if you're going to get me singing that song. It's like the Arteta song, you know. Them words can't come out of my mouth. We've got super. I can't sing that. Like I said, it's like Jim Carrey in the courtroom where he's like, I can't lie. I literally can't get those words out on that Arteta song. And when they were singing Granit Xhaka, "We want you to stay," I was just a bit like, I'm not sure if I can sing that song. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was appreciative of the season, but that was a step too far for me. I was like, Granit Xhaka, I'll drive you to the airport. I'll drive you to... I'm sorry. I know that upsets some people, but I'm being honest. I'll pay for the Uber. I'll pay for the Uber. I'll pay for the Uber. Granit Xhaka, I'll pay for the Uber. I mean, some of you might agree with me. I'll pay for the Uber. You know, it's not far for Heathrow Airport. And... you know, no return flight. But anyway, let's move on. Our fans are cringe sometimes. Listen, man, I wasn't singing that song. I can't lie. Zeus said, we spent 300 in the past 4 windows, 75 per window. People believe we're going to triple that in one window. We'll spend 150 max. Fans will say 9 out of 10 and use the young, thin, inexperienced squad excuse. 150 won't be enough. Nottingham Forest spent 130 in a relegation battle. If they drop 150, they've let everyone down. If they drop 150, 150 ain't doing nothing. Not in this, not no more. It ain't happening. We need 200 mil. 200 milli this summer, people. Facts, that's what's needed. But I hear you, Zeus. Tehran said that show with Troops and Gunner was fire. Big C. Big up yourself, bro. Big up yourself. And I should have Troops on here next week. So big up for your support. Anyway, let's move on again. Couple more stories. We've been on for just shy of an hour. Enjoyable show, as always. I mean, what other stories have I got here? I got 3 more. So let's talk about Balogun. Dharmesh Chef on Sky Sports last night. It was breaking news. I don't think we're surprised by this. Arsenal striker following Balogun is leaning towards a permanent move away from Arsenal this summer. It is believed that Arsenal, once again, similar story to Kieran Tierney, they cannot guarantee him first team football, and it is believed he wants to move on. He's being linked with AC Milan. It's believed that RB Leipzig are at the front of the queue, which Leipzig's an interesting one. I mean, they're nowhere near as big as us, but I suppose the thing is, first team football, they've got a good progressive manager. Did they make Champions League this season? Let me check. Did they make the top 4, Leipzig? Yep, they finished 3rd, so they've got Champions League football. I mean, yeah, I hear it. It's a stepping stone for him, I suppose. If he plays every week, it's still one of the big leagues. Champions League football, he'll get a better contract. I think we're going to lose him. I think it's... And some people will think, you know what, you're constantly criticising the club, but if you're selling Balogun, you've got to sign another striker. If you're selling Balogun to tell me that Jesus and Eddie Nketiah, that's it, I think it's a horrendous piece of business. If you're selling Balogun and you bring in a striker, cool. I can get my head around that, no problem. You're upgrading. If you sell Balogun to keep Eddie Nketiah as your second choice striker, I think you've had an absolute shocker. I think you've had a shocker. I know some people say the French league isn't that good, blah, blah, blah. Balogun's just scored 20 goals in the French league for a bang average team over there. If you were signing him, if he didn't play for Arsenal and he was just a 21-year-old scoring 20 goals in France, do you know the level of hype that you would have around that player? You know, Jonathan David, who's got similar goals. They're talking about 60 million. You know, he would be a 50 million pound player because of his age and his profile. We're bringing him in and just saying, no, we'll keep Eddie as backup instead. I mean, I'm sorry, you're a Gabriel Jesus injury away from going to the Bernabeu or the Allianz Arena with Eddie Nketiah starting up front. I'm sorry, that can't be happening. If we're going Champions League, then we have to upgrade. Things have to improve. So if you're letting him go and you're bringing in a striker, cool. But all the reports at the moment suggest we're looking for a winger, not a striker. Going with Jesus and Eddie as your 2 in the Champions League is insane. Is absolutely insane, people. If we're not signing a striker, for me, we should be selling Eddie Nketiah and giving Balogun a chance as second choice with Gabriel Jesus. But it is what it is. Give me your comments. Let me know. Kamal said Big C doesn't want to stay and be second choice. But the problem, Kamal, he's not even being told he's going to be second choice. He's being told 3rd. They're saying Eddie and Gabby is the 2. So Halby said Eddie wouldn't score 20 goals in France. I don't think he would. I do think Eddie's got good movement and would score some goals. I don't think he'd score 20. Not for a bang average team like that. I think you're selling the wrong player. I really do. People have to understand, right? People have to understand this. People talk about Eddie and Balogun in the same thing. Eddie Nketiah is 24 years of age, right? He's 24 years of age. Eddie Nketiah is not a young player. You're mid-20s now. You should be an established footballer. at 24 years of age. Balogun's 21. He's 3 years younger, and his CV's got more on it. I think we're backing the wrong horse here, people. I really do. I would be selling Eddie, keeping Balogun, and giving him an opportunity. But yeah, that's me. How much money? They're saying it could be around 35 million. Again, poor business, but he's got a year left on his contract. And you're right. HD said it's all about value. We would get more for Balogun. Eddie has no sell on. It's true. He's had a good year in France. Balogun's got hype around him. You get 30 odd million for him, where Eddie, you might get 15 for him. I don't know. Was Kroenke at the game again last night? I didn't watch all the game. It was on late. I watched the highlights. But it doesn't surprise me. Man's turning up for every game. When's the last time you seen Stan at Arsenal? Eddie's as good as he's ever going to be. Flo will keep growing. I agree with that. I think Eddie could have hit his ceiling. Sam said, could a Nuggets win be good for our transfer business? I mean, I don't know. I remember when the Rams won, people said that, and it didn't really make much difference. So, Sam, I hope so, but I don't know if it will be. Bab said we need a 20-plus goal striker. 20-plus strikers are expensive, you know. But so why not go with Balogun and see if he can produce that French league form in England? So, here's what it is. I'm not surprised. I've said for a long time, I think Balogun's on his way out, which I think is a real shame, as I've always rated him. Always thought he had talent and always thought he deserved an opportunity. I just wanted to show you this. I thought this was absolutely, like, I'm here for this kind of banter. I can't lie. I just want to show you this, and this just popped up on my timeline. So, I don't know if any of you have been watching this Callum Wilson and Mikel Antonio football podcast that they do on the BBC. I really enjoy it because they talk as if it's just two mates and they're not on camera. So, they were bantering Richarlison, saying that Richarlison's had more yellow cards this season than he has Premier League goals, which, as an Arsenal fan, Richarlison, I'm all for that. I thought that was brilliant. And then Richarlison has tweeted back, how many goals do you both have in the World Cup? So that started off a little stir now. Richarlison on TikTok, after seeing the clip of Callum Wilson and Mikel Antonio taking the P out of his season. I like that. That's good. It's good. I'm all here for that kind of banter. They should just do the pigeon dance on their next one now. So yeah, it's going off between them guys. It'll be interesting when they next play each other. If Richarlison finds it funny or whether he's really annoyed at it. But anyway, I thought that was a good one. Keith said, let's make news and sign Harry Kane. Levy would never sell him to us. I tell you what, though, going to be totally honest. If Kane sees out his contract and leaves next summer, Arsenal should be offering Harry Kane a contract. No doubt about it. If Harry Kane is out of contract next summer, we should be making an offer to him and saying, listen, if we have another good season, say, listen, come and do the Sol Campbell. Harry Kane is an Arsenal fan, born and bred. He can say what he wants. We know it. We've seen the pictures. He's a gooner. So, yeah, maybe next season when he's a free, make him an offer. That's an L comeback. He's not rating it. That's a great stat. F the funky chicken. Yeah, man. Bun him. 1 goal in the Prem. Come on. I'm sure most of us could have played 30 games and maybe got a tap in at the back post. The pigeon crit walk. But yeah, man, I would be making an offer for Kane next summer if he's a free. 2 more stories before we round up, people, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your Friday. Although I hope you're enjoying your Friday right now, people. A lot of you have been mentioning it. Xavi Simons. Arsenal are one of the teams interested in Xavi Simons. Reports coming out of Holland. I think he's a very good player. I spoke about him before. I would definitely, for me, this is what Fabio should be at Arsenal, as sort of the backup creative player. Now, I've watched him a few times, but obviously the 2 Arsenal games, we saw a close-up of him and how good he is. The game in Holland, I think that is up there with one of the best performances I've seen this season against Arsenal. I would say the best performances this season against Arsenal, probably Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City. He was absolutely unplayable. Xavi Simons, and I thought Rashford for 45 minutes, he cooked Ben White at the Emirates when he nutmegged Partey and scored. I would say Xavi Simons' performance was outrageous. Now, listen, he's not the finished article. 20 years of age, just turned 20 as well. Dutch international. 19 goals and 8 assists this season. Now, I know it's the Dutch league. I know it's not. He's played sometimes as a false nine and sometimes just behind the striker. But 27 goal contributions in 34 games for a 20-year-old. I would absolutely 100% buy this guy. I think he's a top quality player, massive potential. I would get rid of somebody like Fabio and bring him in. I think he's a top quality player. I know I said we do need to get some more established, experienced players, but I think this kid's got unbelievable natural talent. Cognac said, bro, he is brilliant. The only reason I watch PSV games, I think he's a fantastic player, honestly. He ripped Arsenal to shreds. Although Amsterdam Thailand said, I'm Dutch, Curtis, and believe me, Reece is better than him. I mean, that worries me. I hope he's, if we were signing him, I hope he is better than Reece. Baller says, Bosch J. Ghosted said, I love Xavi. Anthony didn't get those goal-scoring numbers in the Dutch league, exactly, and he cost 90 million. And you look at Gakpo, I think Gakpo is having a good time now at Liverpool. He looks like he's settled in well. So for me, Xavi Simons, that is a player I would love to see at Arsenal. It's believed he will cost around 35 to 40 million pounds. Let's get a poll up. Would you sign Xavi Simons? Some of you in the comments saying too young, too lightweight. It says 35 to 40, so we'll call it 40. 40 million pounds, yes or no. But like I said, for me, I think he's a top quality player. I think his talent level, I think, is fantastic. And he ripped us apart as well, which really impressed me that game. Joel says, big up Curtis, are you and Lee Gunner good mates? No, I don't. That's the first time I've ever been on a show with him on Troop's channel. It was a good show. Outside of that, I haven't spoken to him. Bleck said, Big C 100, we're cashing in on Balogun and keeping Eddie. Arteta doesn't like his favourite players being challenged, hence we're getting a mid-right winger and selling Kieran Tierney, and Balogun doesn't want the pressure. Well, that narrative has to change this summer. He's got to start signing bigger egos and bigger personalities, you know. That's what he's got to do. So, Xavi Simons, let me know in the comments whether you would take him. I think he's a quality player. I would shift Fabio and bring him in. I like him. I think he's a much better player than Fabio, that is for sure. Final story of the day, a bit of a wild one. Hey, I heard you were a wild one. I better stop singing that. That's a bit of a radio song, isn't it? That ain't gonna do my street reputation any good, but it is what it is. I'm older now. You can get away with them songs now, you know what I'm saying? They're just radio songs, people. Work with it. Anyway, this is a wild one, by the way. There's a lot of debate at the moment, and it's actually read to a newspaper story. Now, I think they're just saying it. This started off on TalkSport. I've got one word, people. Xhaka. Would you do it? Darren Bent said that Arsenal should sign Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea apparently want to get rid of him. It could even be potentially a loan. And Darren Bent said that Lukaku, if he played all season, would score more goals than Gabriel Jesus would. So, but there's a newspaper article today now saying that Arsenal may look to get him on loan. I don't believe it. I think it's made up. But would you? Would you do it, people? Would you take Xhaka at Arsenal? Another Chelsea player. We love signing Chelsea players. Joel said, Curtis, you and Lee Gunner got to do regular streams. I think a lot of people like the sort of hard-hitting nature of the way we don't mix our words. I would say he's a lot more brutal than me in the way he delivers it. But yeah. But it was a good show, man. Big up everyone who was on there. Czar, Lee and Troops. Would you take him? I'll take him. He is physical, a different profile. Justice says yes. Mr. Gamer said no. Do you know what? Let's end the Xavi Simons one. 78% of you said you'll take him. We know that. This one's more controversial. Would you sign Lukaku on loan? On loan. I'm going to be totally honest. I'd probably take him. And I know we've all got a bad fit. The Lukaku thing and all that. On loan for 1 year, I'd take him. I'd take him. Because I'm struggling to think of a striker that Arsenal go for and get in that physical nature. They're not getting Osimhen. Forget that. Not happening. 120 million. Got no chance. Ivan Toney's banned. Not happening. Mitrovic, 29. I can't see Arsenal going for Mitrovic. He's had an 8-match ban. They're not going for him. They're like squeaky clean players. You tell me a striker we go for. If you're taking him on loan, pay his wages. Remember what he did to Pablo Mari? It was GBH. Zaha for free. Listen, don't get me wrong. If I'm writing a list of strikers, I'm not putting him at the top of the list. There's definitely better options. But I'm keeping it a book. I'd rather see Lukaku playing than Eddie Nketiah. See, Tammy Abraham, the way I'm totally against. I don't rate Tammy one bit. I think he's horrible. I think it's like watching a giraffe play football. I think Tammy's shocking. I've never rated him. And maybe I'm doing him dirty. Maybe he's improved in Italy, but I don't rate him at all. Bring him to the carpet. Zaha for free. Well, you know me, I take Zaha. We need the bullfighter. Let's have a look at Lukaku's stats. I know he hasn't started a lot, has he? I think Xhaka's got in ahead of him. 18 starts, 10 goals, 5 assists. Not a bad season. Last season, 24 goals, 11 assists. Honestly, I'd take him. He wouldn't be at the top of my list, but the striker game is so weak. There aren't many options. The options are limited unless you're going for someone like, I don't know, Mawani, and he's very expensive and unproven. You got the boy Thuram, I think's out of contract. Ronnie said no for Lukaku. I get why you would say no. Cormac said, has Lukaku's his first touch is like a trampoline. It is, but do you know what it is? The only reason I would take him, right, is nuisance value. He doesn't even necessarily have to start. I'm just bringing him off the bench to cause a problem. Honestly, I get why people wouldn't want him, but you got to look at what you've got in your hand. You've got Eddie Nketiah in your hand. Lukaku's levels above Eddie. He wouldn't be my first choice. Definitely not. I'd rather try, I'd rather take Firmino, to be honest, than Lukaku. People saying this Højlund, is it, brother, who plays for Atalanta? I haven't seen much of him. Evan Ferguson, but I saw a thing that there's no way you can get him. He would cost an absolute fortune to get out of Brighton. Stormzy, Ed Sheeran featuring Arteta. Take me back to London. I'm telling you, let's put Stormzy up front, man. Nuisance value late in the game. Abdullah said, big up Curtis. Here is my dream team. If these useless owners wasn't in charge, Sané, Kane, Gnabry, Rice, Caicedo, a left back, a right back, and a keeper. The only way you're having that transfer window, bro, is Football Manager with a cheat code. That's the only way you're getting it. Listen, as I said, he wouldn't be at the top of my list. He's not a striker that I'm looking at and saying, let's go and get him. I don't particularly rate Lukaku that highly. He's running around LA with Megan Thee Stallion. He's living the high life. He wants to be a rapper, I think. But he's better than what we've got. And I actually agree. I think he would score more goals than Jesus. I honestly do. I think if he played 38 games, he'd score more than Jesus. The problem is he doesn't play the way Arteta would want a striker to play, in my opinion. And he does have a big, ego and personality. Would he be willing to sit on the bench? But yeah, wouldn't be top of my list, but beggars can't be choosers. African Soldier said, Atpon, hey, relax. He's had a good year in the Championship, but let's not get carried away. Chuba Akpon can stay. Mikel is a bum, can't handle big superstar players, says Suleiman. Ah, dear. Well, like I said, there's got to be a point where he starts signing bigger egos. Let's end that poll before we end the show. 60% of you say you would take Lukaku. No, it's dropped down actually to 56% and 44% say no. On loan for the season, wouldn't be top of my list, but I would take him. I don't think Chelsea would actually do it. I don't think that Poch would let him go to us. Would you take Giroud back? No, I wouldn't. I don't like what he said when he left. I wouldn't. Nah. Giroud had his time. He wasn't great. He has improved, but nah. Don't want Giroud back. Curtis swerving from those dissing his manager. Do you know what it is? When someone disses the manager, it's like my mind goes, and I'm like, it's like something saying, have a go at him. Say that you don't rate him. And then another voice is saying, calm down. He's just had a title challenge. This ain't the Arteta out show. Go easy on him. And then I snap out of it and I just say, you know what? Let me calm down. We had a progressive season, shall we say, before the shot caught us and at us. Gunnar Rowland said, Curtis, there's a rumour Napoli are interested in Balogun as a replacement for Osimhen. If true, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Gunnar Rowland, I am thinking what you're thinking, but Arsenal probably don't think like that. Anyone in their normal right mind would say, okay, let's do a swap deal and we'll give you about 75 million on top of it. But no, in Arsenal, we'll probably just sell them Balogun and Osimhen goes to Chelsea or Man United. You're a con man. Calm down. Give him a chance. That's basically what's going off in my head. There's two people there. One's going mad. He's not good enough. I've never rated him. And the other one's saying, calm down. He just finished second. Give him one more year. Then I just take a breather. Woosa. And then I calm down, people. But yeah. I can't lie. At times, there is Cone Man thoughts in my mind. I can't lie. Lukaku and Eddie starting at the Bernabeu. Dream big, see? Listen, Lukaku, man, I'm telling you, on loan, I'll take him. 1 year. Nuisance factor off the bench. He's better than Eddie, people. Beggars can't be choosers. Anyway, people, I'm around up there. Thank you very much. Great show. Hour and 21 minutes. 2,200 of you in the chat. Appreciate all the brilliant support as usual. These shows just fly by. I'm gonna keep doing them. I was thinking, you know, because it's quiet, maybe I do live shows a little bit less. But as long as we've got the news to talk about, we'll still go live. How many chances does Arteta need? I think this is last chance saloon this season for him. We can't keep talking about progress. There has to be trophies. There has to be success. 5 seasons at a football club with... will be beyond 500 million spent. We need to start seeing trophies. But listen, people, enjoy your Friday. Hope you've had a great show today. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big up Bleck for donating those memberships to the community. 10 of them. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all tomorrow, people. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like on your way out. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bless.